I'm Jenny Keller. Welcome to the Keller Farmhouse Kitchen. As you know, the Seahawks have made their way into the Super Bowl this year, and we're so excited here in Seattle. I wanted to share with you one of the recipes that I'm going to be bringing to the Seahawks party that I'm going to. I decided not to host. Yay me. So today we're going to make Seahawks cake pops. I already have baked my cake. The way I like to do cakes is I'm kind of a semi-homemade girl. I just grab a box of Duncan Hines or whatever your favorite cake mix is. So to give my cake a Seahawks theme, I added some food coloring to just a simple white cake mix. You can use a gel, you can use the liquid, really anything is gonna work. You can even pick up a blue velvet box of cake mix that they have now. So once your cake is baked and cooled and ready to be turned into a cake pop, you just are gonna take the piece by piece and put it in your mixer. A lot of times people will mix a separate bowl of the cake and the icing, but I just like quick and easy and fast, so I go right to the mixer. So I'm just gonna add all this in, and then I'm gonna use my paddle attachment on my mixer. Okay, so we're mixing our cake in my mixer. We just wanted to have like a sticky consistency so that we're able to roll them into a ball shape. So I'm letting this kind of just break into crumbs rather than doing that by hand in the separate bowl. I use my buttercream frosting in my cake pops, which you can get if you go to my website, jennycookies.com, and subscribe to my mailing list. I'm going to be sending out the recipe card for the cake pops and the buttercream icing. If you're in a super big hurry and you don't have time to make buttercream icing, you can grab just a jar of icing at the store because you're using such a small amount. It doesn't really make a huge difference. So we're gonna add the icing, and just a little bit goes a long way. The thing about when you make cake pops, you don't wanna put too much icing in because then you're gonna need more cake to make up for how soft they are. They're not gonna hold their shape. So I just start with just a little bit at a time. Maybe like, if you were really needing to measure it, maybe a tablespoon, and you're just gonna mix until it just binds together and it's sticky. All right, you guys, we have our cake pop mixture. As you can see, it has attached itself to the paddle here, and I want to just stress one more time how important it is just to add a little bit of icing at a time. All cakes bake a little bit differently. Some are really moist, some are not, so everybody's amount of the icing that they're putting in is going to be different. Okay, this is what you want your mixture to look like. When I pull it out of the mixer, you can see it's stuck together. It's almost like a Play-Doh consistency. The way I get all my balls to look the same size is I use a 1 tablespoon measuring spoon, and I just start scooping it out and rolling the balls. All right, you guys, we have our cake balls that have been chilled in the freezer. I was in a hurry, so I just popped them in the freezer for about 15 minutes. We're gonna let them rest over here while we melt our candy melts. You wanna make sure you microwave these in a microwave-safe bowl for 30-second increments. You don't wanna overheat them or else you'll burn the candy melts and then you'll have to throw the whole thing away. So I'm gonna dump these into a microwave-safe bowl, and we have our candy melts that are nice and melted. I put mine in probably 3 or 4 times for 30 seconds. The goal is just to get like a nice runny consistency. Like as you can see, when I pull my spatula up, it's nice and drippy. A lot of times I hear people say that their candy melts are really clumpy. If you have that issue, sometimes I'll just take like a tablespoon or even half a tablespoon of vegetable oil and just kind of keep stirring until you get the really nice smooth consistency. Now I have the white candy melts today, and I'm going to use a candy oil to color them green. If you don't have candy oil, that's okay. You can just pick up colored candy melts. Wilton makes almost every single color under the sun, but I didn't have green, and so I'm going to use the candy oil to color mine right now. Okay, so we're gonna add the green candy oil. This is a Americolor brand. You can pick it up at Hobby Lobby. I like to order it online a lot of times. You wanna use candy oil. Do not use food coloring. It will ruin your candy melts. So you just start like a few drops at a time just to get the color you want. Again, it's like food coloring. You can always add more, but you can't take it out. See, I put quite a few drops in and I'm still not a very dark green. So we're just gonna add until we get the color we want. All right, so we have our green color. Notice it's not a super dark green, but I'm gonna use these darker green sprinkles, and so once you see them sprinkled on, it will kind of give the look that it is a really deep green. You don't have to use this kind of sprinkle. You could use a lighter shade of green if that's what you have. I think the thing with the Seahawks that's so awesome is that they have all different shades of green and blue, so use what you have. Now once you get your candy melt mixture colored and very smooth, I start, this is like one of my tricks, I'll dip my little cake pop stick just the tiniest bit in the candy melt, and I put all the sticks in the cake balls so they can start drying. This just helps the stick not to come apart from the cake ball. A lot of times people say, you know, my cake balls are falling off my sticks, it's just a hot mess. I can totally relate. The first time I made cake pops, I tried this red velvet cake pop recipe from Bakerella, and I was, you know, just so excited to make these cake balls years ago, and my hands were like covered in red. It was just the biggest mess ever. I swore up and down I would never do that again, and lo and behold, about 2 weeks later, the Everett Clinic called a local healthcare place in the area, and they said, we're getting ready to have this big party, and could you make like 1,500 cake pops for us? And I thought, oh my God, of course, like the one thing that takes forever and I'm not very good at, but naturally I said yes, and I started rolling 1,500 cake balls and dipping these cake pops. But you guys, I mean, practice makes perfect. You don't have to make 1,500 to get a great cake pop. Now presenting the Seahawks cake pops. Look how cute these are, you guys. They're green on the outside and blue on the inside. Now, if you had any questions during this video or you wanted to see something one more time, head to my website right now, jennycookies.com, sign up for my mailer, and I will email you out the recipe for my cake pops and my buttercream icing. Go Hawks!